Okay, I think we're live, so I think we can go. Is everybody seeing the same thing I'm seeing?
Yep, we're all set, Terry.
Okay, great. Thank
Yep,
you.
just call my name if you need me.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, this is the Northborough Cultural Council, and this is Thursday, December 15th at 7:12. I am calling our meeting to order, and I need to read this message about remote meetings from the governor. This open meeting of Northborough Cultural Council is being conducted remotely consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, the town of Northborough has been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends a requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings as a publicly accessible physical location. All members of the Northborough Cultural Council allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order allows Northborough Cultural Council to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. The public is encouraged to follow along as a posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless participation is required by law. This meeting will not be featuring public comments. Okay, so with that, first agenda item is approval of the minutes from 10:22. And so I just need someone to, any comment, any motions?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes from 10:22.
Okay, Craig is first. Okay, and does anybody second?
I second.
And Selby seconds. Okay. And with that, we need to vote. And so I'll go around, take a roll call vote. Selby? Oh,
Yeah.
any discussion? Any discussion? No discussion? Okay, Selby's a yes. I'm just going across my row here. Vic?
Yes.
Vic's a yes. Lori?
I'll abstain. I was not there.
Okay. Craig?
I approve.
Okay. And Suzanne?
I approve.
Okay. And I approve also. So we are 5 in favor and 1 abstention. Okay. Okay, and we have the minutes from 12:03, but we didn't have a quorum.
I'm sorry, Terry.
Yes.
We're six approval, right? You said 5.
3, 4, 5.
Did you count yourself?
I did not. Okay.
Okay.
Correct. That is correct. And so for the 12:03, we need to, it's my understanding that we just need to hold off on that one, and till we have a quorum of the people that were there for the meeting. And so we will just vote on the 12:03 minutes for the next meeting.
I actually have a question. We only had 4 people in the last meeting, and we need 5 to vote. How do we manage around this? So even if you had all 4 people there, we still don't have 5.
Through
As
the
long as-
chair,
Yes.
so there is a rule of necessity, and through that, because there were only 4 people in attendance, those 4 people can approve the minutes, was my understanding, but I think it should still be good.
Okay. So are we okay with waiting until the next meeting to approve on this so that we have, Leslie is the only person that we're missing. Will that work for you?
Do we need to make a motion to?
I think so. Or no, can we just postpone it? Okay, so I'm just going to say we're going to postpone next meeting. And so now we're going to go down to, I was assuming you had to make a motion on that, but no, we don't. You're right. Treasurer's report, the 2020 grant cycle updates. Is there any updates available? I guess I'm going to look to you, Craig.
Yep. Well, unless anybody else wants to give the treasurer's report, that's fine. I did submit to Jason Little a big package of the payment information for the virtual Culture Fest. So I can't remember if it was 8 or 9 different people have all submitted their paperwork, and that's
Good.
in for processing. Subsequent to that, which was I think early last week, I have gotten one more submission for the virtual Culture Fest. So we kind of need to make a decision here. We've sent out a few reminders individually and things, touching base with the wonderful folks that participated but haven't submitted yet. So I don't know if there's any particular thoughts or recommendations if we just close the books or leave it open. There's really nothing lost to leave it open. I don't want to do that for too long, but you know,
Okay.
I'm not suggesting we need to stop, but
Question on that. Do you have the number? How many people have not responded?
I don't know off the top of my head, probably 5 or 6.
Okay, so I guess if you can supply me with the names or contact information, I'd like to reach out personally and
Even one more time. All right.
Yes,
fine.
I do.
That's fine.
I want to give it a shot.
That's easy to do. And Terry, and just so everybody knows, we have the tracking file on our Google Drive. Anybody can go and look at their leisure and see the status of who has submitted and the state of processing their payment. I can easily make a short list and I'll send that out. So that was the Virtual Culture Fest payments going to the 2020 grant payments. I did have one additional grant request for reimbursement that came in that has also been processed.
Okay.
So having said that, easily half of the 2020 grant participants have not requested any money, presumably because they did not hold an event. I did send my tracking sheet out to everybody in the committee, I think 2 weeks ago. You have that in email. So we had talked about dividing all of the grant recipients up by name by each of us. That kind of at the beginning of the cycle was assigned to the different groups of grants. And we talked about those individuals, if they wanted to individually contact that grant recipient, just to say, hi, we assume you didn't put on your event because of circumstances. We just want to double check. We've sent them 2 notifications of the whole continuation process. Just like Virtual Culture Fest, I don't think we need to close the books. There's no problem just leaving it floating, basically just giving everybody an update.
Okay, I would like to get things moving and keep us current so that we can move forward and not have things dragging, I guess. Selby, did you? Yes, Selby.
Yes, I do have a question. Craig, did those recipients who did not submit for their grant yet, do they include those we heard back from with extensions and modifications, or is that outside of that?
The file that I sent out has all those updates, if I understood your question.
Yes.
So yes, I think there may be 1 or 2. I don't remember all that detail off the top of my head. There may be 1 or 2 who gave us an update that they were pushing back their event. And so then logically they have not requested.
Okay.
But I think there's still over half that, to my knowledge, did not tell us anything about changing their dates or request a date change. We just haven't heard from.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And then the last thing, Sylvie, since we're talking, I believe we just saw an email from MCC announcing that the Massachusetts government has approved Governor Baker's budget, and it contains an MCC payment line for fiscal year 2021. And I believe that email said that they haven't finally voted on the dispersal down to all the LCCs. I think there was a January date in there. If anybody else saw that email,
Yeah.
maybe you have more detail or other detail.
So we just really are in a holding pattern then, from my understanding. Then we just don't have any information. So question, if that gets pushed out again, we can't make decisions on all of the grant information prior to that.
That's the perfect question. Yeah, Terry, and I'm glad you brought that up. And so let me start to address it and then Selby jump in. We have significant funds still that have not been claimed for 2020 grants, and we suspect they won't. We have every reason to believe from the email that we just saw that MCC was allocated their usual amount as prior years. I think it's reasonable to believe that in January, when MCC determines their allotments, we as the NCC would get a typical amount. I do not believe we have any concerns over finances that would in any way preclude us starting our grant evaluations right now.
Okay.
As you know, as we go through this grant cycle down at the LCC level, we're a couple months, I think, away from, well, maybe I have to look at the calendar again, but we have plenty of time, I think, to review the grants, the veracity, meeting the criteria before we have to get down to a final monetary decision.
Okay.
So we don't need to wait on anything there.
Okay, that was the crux of my question. How does that work? I don't want to get to a point where we're pushed into a corner to make decisions and we don't have all the information to work with.
No, I agree with Craig. We have plenty of time to make those decisions. However, our panel book of new applicants have just been published and is made available on the MCC website to us. So we don't have to make decisions, but it would be a good idea to start reviewing them next month.
Okay.
And I do agree that we did our due diligence. We have been in touch with our grant recipients, and to the best of their knowledge, they have returned our emails back when possible. So I think if we maybe push one more effort, one more cycle of reaching out to those on Craigslist whom we haven't heard from, we'll be closing the gap on budgeting pretty soon, I think.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you for that list, Craig. That's really helpful. All right. Anything else on 2020? First of all, it's good to see everybody. I was suddenly a birdie told me that I forgot to take attendance, so I should probably take attendance. So we have Selby and Craig and Suzanne and Bick and Lori and Julianne. Thank you for coming, everyone. All right. Okay. Got that base covered. Now 2021 grant cycle update. Is there anything really to update yet? Selby.
I just sent out an email with a new folder for all of us to go into and populate for the 2021 grant cycle. And it includes the list of the 21 applications that we have received to be reviewed in our new cycle. So
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So I guess we're kind of light on information on that.
Am I correct, though, that the deadline is passed now to receive grants?
Yes. Yes. So the state deadline just passed. I think that was actually Monday. So it's all set. Whatever we have that's it. And so that's why I was asking about us reviewing them, but we don't really know what we have, but at least we can go through the list to start and get an understanding of who has applied and do they meet our criteria. And so that's all. I think maybe we can start doing that in January. And, you know, we just go from there and hopefully more information will come. I think everybody's just, I feel like in suspension. Any virtual Culture Fest updates, payments, donations? Craig, I think you already went over that. Perfect. Number 3, set the next meeting date. I guess January makes the most sense for us. And so does Thursday still work for everybody? Yep. Okay. I'm seeing yeses. 7 o'clock. So will we even have enough information right away to do anything? The next Thursday is a 7th. Or is it better to wait until, let's 7th? Is it better to wait until the 14th? Just state information, or what do you guys recommend? What have you seen in the past? Or is this all new?
Go ahead.
Go anybody. Oh,
I
Suzanne.
think it's 7th. It's fine from my point of view, and reviewing some of the details of the applications. It does get to be a bit lengthy. So
Okay.
diving in on the 7th, unless there's a particular conflict, makes sense.
Okay. Anybody else?
I agree. I think we should start reviewing the applications because sometimes we have to go back to the grant applicant to request clarification and or additional information, and that could take time. Plus, there are many parameters that may be new this year because of the pandemic.
Okay.
So, you know, that may also take us a little bit longer to assess.
Okay, I agree. So we can have more meetings if as needed or rearrange, but is it agreeable for everybody if we do the 7th and the 21st? And that way, if there's anything in between, we can jump on that. 7th, okay, 7th and the 21st, our next meeting date, 7 p.m., same time. And then the 2021 grant cycle submissions. Is there anything that we need to go over that now, or is that really something for the 7th?
I think that was just the number we received, which was 21 submissions. And I don't know, I'd love to get input from our members, how they feel about that number. I was happy to see that number, that many applicants during this very uncertain times. So hopefully the arts are alive and they are here and we're here to support them still. So that was good. That was a good number to see.
I will be interested. I wish there was a way that we could figure this out. Maybe that's a follow-up question to the people who have applied. How did you find out about it? Does the Virtual Culture Fest have anything to do with the number of people who applied, or even the Facebook survey, the survey that happened with the link on the town's website? You know, is there suddenly more visibility? I'm just curious. And I think it's a great thing. Let's see, other, okay, so if that's it, unless anybody has anything else, item number 2021 grant reception. So we don't have a date. Is that something we can viably come up with tonight? Yes, Selby.
I just need to confirm to you the new due date of the grant decisions. I remember seeing March.
I do too.
The new date of completing our annual report. And do you know the exact date MCC sent us? when we are supposed to be sending out letters of approvals for grants?
I
If not,
can,
we can look into that for sure.
I think I can look that up.
And the reason I ask is that, normally we send out our grant letters of approval after MCC approves our decision based on our annual report submission.
Mhm.
And then we give our grantees at least 2 to 3 weeks from the date of that letter to the grantee reception. So that kind of determines our timeline.
Okay, all right. So I did have the date written. Oh, it's going to be in my calendar. Okay. And I should be able to pardon my silence here.
No problem. We can cycle back to that information. I know we've been receiving a lot of updates from MCC.
Well, there's a moment, and
I
Terry
did.
is looking. I went back and checked for the 2020 grant cycle. Looking at the list, we had 33 grant requests. Out of those, 8 did not receive a grant due to ineligibility and not meeting the grant criteria. So, that led
Interesting.
us to 25 grants this year actually awarded. So if we have 21 requests coming in for 2021, we're obviously starting out lower.
Yes, we are. Okay, so that's just a point of interest for me. Okay, so I see that the reports are due to the MCC on March 1st. And
Okay, so from that date forward, about 3 weeks or so out, we can start planning. Well, we'll start planning it now, but our target date for grantee reception
is
could
about,
sit out like 3 weeks or so after our letters go out.
okay, so maybe we can finalize that on the January 7th meeting. I just feel like there's going to be more information that's going to come in from the state or I'm looking for some certainty. Maybe that's a futile mission right now, but okay, so you're saying 3 weeks out from, so that March 1st date was for the NCC to have reports to the MCC. And so that's our guiding date?
Yes, because MCC has to approve our grant decisions.
Got it. Okay.
And then we're allowed to send out the letters of approvals to our grantees. But again, things may change. As you said, nothing is as certain as it used to be. So we'll just keep an eye out to see if there is anything new at that end of the process too.
Okay. Okay. So let's shoot for, that can be on the next agenda item that we can try and come up with a date because maybe something more will come through. I just want to keep that on the eye on the ball. And then format so this is my thinking with the information that we have right now that we are probably going to be looking at a virtual culture fest. And so maybe that's where, so we don't spin our wheels going in 2 directions right now, that we go for, again, towards a virtual. Suzanne?
You said we're going towards a virtual culture fest. Do you mean a grant reception or?
Reception.
Grant, yes, grant reception.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry, yeah, no, my mistake.
Okay.
But looking down the road, very well could be Culture Fest as well. Yep, you're right. I misspoke. So virtual, we have to figure that out. In the past, we were in the library, could have a fabulous reception, speeches, none of that now. Or we do something as in the last meeting that we had, somebody brought up that things are pre-recorded, it's put together and then released on who the recipients are. And that way, if we are able to get speakers such as maybe Daniel Gregoire or whomever we can, they can be inserted as part of the reception. It just won't have the touch of being in person. So very similar to the Culture Fest, I think. So that's what's going on in my mind. Unless anybody has any ideas, I really don't know how else to do this, or we can only plan with what we have for information so far. And then my thought is that at some point here, we have to figure out working groups for going over the, so this is just thinking ahead, working groups are going over the submissions and examining them and coming back. 'Cause you guys did a great job of that last year. I was just observing and I was really impressed. So, and then we come back and meet and say, hey, this looks great, or no, this doesn't fit the criteria, or this person isn't even close to Northborough. That was all really great stuff. So I see that as being really helpful and efficient. So I'd love to keep that going unless somebody else has a better idea. Maybe it's a shared document, and I'll take a look and see what's on Craigslist. Does anybody have anything else that they would like to share?
Yeah, I do. I want to bring up something interesting. I don't know why I didn't know this before. My bad. But I'm going to share with you so you can see what it looks like from the Verizon portal. So we've got a volunteer matching program, and we also have a dollar matching program. So for example, if I donated money to NCC, I can get a one-for-one match for us as an organization. So that would require, like say, for example, Terry or Craig verifying that I did give you, let's say, $100, and then you can put in the paperwork to get an equal $100 from Verizon. So that's something we could do, and then also, I could personally do. And this is the volunteer side of it. If I earn enough hours, I can get us $750.
Wow.
So let me just, I put in our tax ID, which nothing came up, but I'm trying to figure out the right format because it has a hyphen in here. So let me just make it a little bit bigger. Right. So that may not be how it's done, or maybe the tax ID doesn't exist in the database, so I can always get it added. But I wanted to show you how other organizations in our town okay, so here we've got the youth football team, the basketball association, Friends of the Library, Education Foundation, Food Pantry, Senior Citizen, Art Guild, et cetera, Helping Hands, Historical Society. Now this is not Friends of the Historical Society, Music Association, Football Chair Association. So, and then there's whatever this is. So they had, we've been on the list. All I have to do is select it. So for example, let me just pick the library.
Okay, so we may not want to show the tax ID on this right now, just.
Yeah, this, I'm not.
Okay.
I did for a minute. It was too late. So, I guess I said it. All right. So then all I have to do is fill it out, like how many hours I spent doing whatever. And then, I save it as the hour. So as the year goes by, every time we volunteer, meaning like one of our meetings like this is a volunteer activity. I just log it in, get enough hours, and then,
oh, Vic, this is fantastic. I'm wondering, so it looks like you need some information to be able to finish this off. And
right.
I
So
think this is, maybe this, as we gather information, something offline that we can come together.
so
figured
So,
this
but-
out because this is fantastic.
Could I have a suggestion, if I
Yep.
may, through the
Okay.
chair? Vic, I think you should reach out to Jason Little and discuss these details with him. He'll be able to give you the best advice
okay.
how to approach this.
And what exactly are you thinking that I would ask him about?
Just
Don't hold
the
on.
few things you just presented to us.
Okay.
If
I'll show
if
him.
a council member, you would be eligible to fill out such a form, and what constitutes as service versus volunteer service, because this is a town council, so there may be some distinctions that we may not be aware of. I would reach out to Jason to see if he can guide you. I think you would get the best answer from him.
Okay. Okay. Because then, oh, sorry. What I wanted to show you, of course, I have to not be able to find something. So, let me not find something, and then I can show you what can happen after this. This is not working now. Well, what happens is it says it's supposed to say like not found, but that I can add an organization. So I can go through the process of submitting a request to have, evidently. There's a lot more today than there wasn't any the other day when I was looking. But what I'm trying to say is I could put in for a request to have our organization added to the list so that it's selectable. That's the problem, right? If we don't exist on the list and I can't select it, I can't log my hours. So I guess there's two things to do. Like I'll follow what you said, Sylvia. I'll talk to Jason about whether or not this process, works with the town policies and et cetera. And if it does, then we'll get ourselves established as part of the selectable list of items. So I want
This is fantastic.
Right. Okay. So yeah, just another opportunity for us to, kind of help us out.
Thank you for finding this, Vic.
Fundraising, different form of fundraising, I guess.
No, that is really very cool. I think Selvy's right. There's, I don't even know what questions to ask. I think Jason is going to be the right person, right resource. Because, if you don't know it's there, it's going to go somewhere else. Just like our grants, if you don't know about it,
you
miss out. So fantastic. Thank you so much for looking into that. That is really cool.
We have this goal this year to do 20 million of volunteer hours across our company. Wow. So people were trying to log in their hours, and initially they had built a new portal, which I thought replaced this one that you just saw. But on that portal, it has very specific nationwide volunteer activities. So ours wouldn't qualify because we're too local, because they want big ideas, that can occur in multiple states at the same time, like United Way, that type of, Red Cross things, right? So, but then I realized this was still in existence. I said, oh, what a shame that they did away with the old portal, because that's where you log in your local activities, but evidently it still existed, and I was mistaken. So finally just kind of realized, oh, wait a minute, I can do this my own too, as long as it satisfies everything we need to. Yeah. So Craig, would you want to be part of that conversation only because it involves money donations later, or I can just report back to you?
No, definitely. So I see two parts here. This is a wonderful opportunity, as Terry said, and it's fantastic that you found this. So the first part, I'm not sure what you have to do to make sure Verizon adds us to the list as a town. I can help you as necessary there. On the second part, then on Jason Little and the town side, I'd be happy to send Jason an email tonight and include you, and basically just start the conversation with Jason, and immediately hand off to you.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Yeah, and I'm actually on vacation starting next Monday all the way through the end of the year. So I've got the 2 weeks off. As long as he's working one of those days, I can actually come in to see him.
I think it's an easy email discussion.
We'll figure that out.
An update and give us an opinion by email.
Okay. All right, so I can draft that, like, what is happening thing to you, then you can just copy that into him.
Okay,
Okay,
fantastic.
perfect.
Thank you. Now I have a question to this, because we are up to other business and as it comes through the board. And I have a question about something that I read on the MCC site, and it has to do with surveys. So it looked to me, I understood it to mean that we need to be taking a yearly survey. Am I understanding that correctly? I thought it used to be like every other year or every 2 years, but now it's yearly. Did I understand? Did anybody else see that, or is it just me?
No, you are correct, Terry. It started last year, and they started asking NCCs to provide an annual survey
Okay,
to their town, to their citizens in the town, to the artists and whatnot. Prior to that, there's actually still a section in the annual report where you enter the survey date, and the results go in the written report to our program manager. But it used to be every 3 years. So if you go to the annual report, it still says every 3 years, and it still says we're current because we have a survey from 3 years prior. So
okay.
even though they changed the requirement, they did not update it on their annual report submission.
Okay,
However, for the past 2 years, we have been submitting our survey results to Luis Cotto, our program manager. So
okay.
he knows. So maybe we can point that discrepancy out to Luis and see if they will be fixing that part of the annual report. Because it's a standard form they have online that we fill out.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you go to that form, it still says we're current, our next survey is due, blah, blah, blah. But we did receive emails asking all the LCCs to conduct annual surveys. And for us, it kind of lined up with our Culture Fest event. And so we've been able to carry that out during that time. It kind of worked for us. It was, it was easy to build it in there. But,
Yep, okay.
we
So
should clarify that with them.
thank you for that. I was just confused by reading different things in different places. And so I guess my suggestion is the best way to do this again is going to be online through Facebook, the town website with a link where we can hit enough people to have input to guide us. So, I know you guys worked really hard to try and get people physically during the festivals, but that's not going to happen for a while, at least from what I can see from where I'm sitting. And that's really all I have, unless anybody has anything else.
We have our recent survey we just did, so that represents this year.
So when you say this year, do you mean 2020 or for 2021? How does that work?
2020 reporting, right? So we just had like 200, 300 people reply to our survey. So we're all set to report out for this year.
Okay,
right.
And then
so we would report for 2020, yeah? And we normally give it together with the Culture Fest report survey as part of that event, but we don't have to couple them together. We can submit it separately as well.
Okay.
But because it goes to the same person, in the email to Louise, I have always said, and the survey results are included, in our Culture Fest report, which is also something we have to do. And I'm sure the date has been extended. The Culture Fest report was due the same day or same date as the final annual submission report, which is now March 1st. So that is something to confirm with Louise to see if the Culture Fest report is now postponed to that date as well. And it doesn't matter. We'll work on it before that date anyways. We'll give it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have any other questions or announcements or insight on anything. Oh, there was somebody who had sent an email, Craig, to do with adding somebody's name in after the fact, to give credit, and the name escapes
Yeah.
me. But I
Yes.
think
It was the composer for the song that the duo, the harpist.
something, that's right. Okay,
Yep, and I updated the bio and I sent it over to Suzanne.
that's it.
I don't know if that's
Okay,
posted or not.
thank you very much. Yep, so that's really it. If we, so this is how it works. If you try to add something on, you have to create another file on YouTube. So that would change all of the links. And I see that as being almost dangerous, because then people will, might be passing on old links and that it looks broken, and it won't, it'll just be create an issue with trying to find the Virtual Culture Fest. So just going with the bio, I think that's safer. And so thank you for that. That's the right thing to do, because then people are going to be able to see it and slowly take their time and read through, which is what we want. People to look up the names and enjoy it. So that was the only other open item that I had at this point. And then I'm going to connect with Selvi and work on the reports and the formats for this. Other than that,
Can I just ask, can I confirm that that bio was reposted online so we can let her know? Not yet.
you're muted.
So that was a no, Suzanne? Not yet?
Correct. I didn't change anything yet.
Okay.
So maybe the minute you do, somebody can just reply back to her that that's what we've done.
Okay.
If she feels like we took action on what she asked for. Okay.
And yep. Okay. So that was it. That was the only other issue that I had. And I don't have anything for future agenda items unless, we can work on it as it comes up. Yes.
A couple more things. We had approved a motion to spend money for thank you notes and all that. Are we still going to try to do that or not? We should cancel the motion if there's such a thing.
That was the thank you notes for the participants. Was that?
Yes. Right. And then we had like phrases in it.
Oh.
Remember, like you inspire us,
Yep.
you blah, blah, those three things.
Yep. I'm happy to go out and get a box of thank you notes if that's
We usually
what's
print the
normal.
design.
I've created them all. So if we want to send them out, we have to just print them and send them out.
Oh,
I
okay.
had the action to create one, and I did.
I
So-
think it would be a very nice gesture, especially during these times. Any
it's
kind
a
of nice act we
holidays,
can
yeah.
provide. Let's
Well, I
go.
can
I
take
mean,
I can take them tomorrow to Office Max and print them.
All right. We don't need a further motion on that then, do we? No, that's it? Okay. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Suzanne. I know this is a busy time of year for everyone, so.
I'll drop them off to you, Terry, so you can sign them and send them. Okay.
So I need to let you know something. I may need someone to sign my name for me. So I guess that's all I have right now.
One more. I'm sorry. One more time. These things keep on popping in my head.
No, go ahead.
I think you were going to write an article on the VCF so we could.
I did.
Number one, put it into your report and use the same thing for like a news outlet, like what we did. And I'm thinking also to submit to MCC because they often write about how other LCCs do this and that. And for us, this is a big feat. And during these times, I think we should at least try to get our name into the MCC newsletter.
Oh,
they always say this LCC did this and that with their Culture Fest, so I don't know how many people attempted to do anything during these times. I think there was one I read up before, but we should do that, right?
The motion we do that. I think that's a great idea. Sylvie and I did something a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was well worth it. But I don't know if we get exposure. I think it's time to get re-exposure. And Vic has brought up a wonderful point. We are probably unique in what we did this year, possibly, and it would be a great way to get more interest.
I shared the link to our Culture Fest with Luis Cotto and Mina Kim, but I did not hear back from them about it. I think the latest email we had received from Luis, and correct me if I'm wrong, was that he was just going to be operating away from his desk for a couple of weeks or so, and then I didn't hear anything back. But I think with your report, Terry, if we include the link again, and even the beautiful card Suzanne and Lori designed, it's like a whole package, and send it to MCC, that would be wonderful. I'm happy to help Suzanne print stuff or whatever else we may need.
Okay, I think I sent out it was Lori's design. I turned into a thank you. I think I sent it out some time ago. So, but yeah, that'd be wonderful. Whatever, if you want to sign them and send them out, that'd be great.
May I suggest one last thing? I promised the last thing, right? So we now have a new 2021 folder, and within that folder, there is a subfolder for our logos, designs, banners, whatnot. Suzanne, could we put the new card design in there? Thank you so much.
Okay, this is fantastic. Obviously, COVID restrains us. So if anybody wants to just, if you guys are doing it, sign names for all of us. You know, it has the same meaning. We're all reaching out, emails, letters. We're just doing what we can, and so this is great. I don't have anything else, but I do want to wish everybody happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, be well, find some happy, go make some snow angels, go run around out there. I just spent like 2-3 hours, feels like snow blowing and shoveling and all of that stuff. So I'm done. But, you know, I just wish everybody happy, healthy, and yay, 2021 is almost here. I just want to shake the Etch-a-Sketch and start over. So,
All right, well, based on that, I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
okay.
I second the motion.
Okay, Craig first, and Vic second. And let's take a roll call vote, because at least I can get that right. Selby
Yay.
and Vic
Yes.
and Lori
Yes.
and Craig
Yes.
and Suzanne.
Yes.
And yes, so that is unanimous. Thank you for everyone for joining us on the Northborough Cultural Festival, and we hope to see you again soon in 2021. And that's it. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Guys,
Night.
Good
Happy
night.
holidays.
Happy
Thank you,
holidays, everyone.
Diane. Yeah, you too, John.
See you after the new year.
Thank you, John. Thank
welcome.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much. And thank you
you're
for all
welcome.
your support, Julie.
Oh, sure.
And John, thank you for all your support. This is great. Bye.
Bye-bye.